Coming up on Takedown with Chris Hansen.
Now,
In Polk County, Florida, this man tries to make a run for it.
you guys aren't going to listen to me, are you?
And I know why.
I think you're just going to try to put me on YouTube or something weird.
Yeah.
So, does he?
Can I ask what this is for so I can know?
You can. I'm Chris Hansen.
Oh, you're that guy.
I'm that guy. I hope you're enjoying this free full episode of Takedown on our YouTube channel. But there's something you need to know. There are literally hundreds of new episodes either in production or on our streaming channel right now, uncensored, all on WatchTruBlu.com. Use the code YouTube26 to watch all of the episodes for $2.50, or for an annual subscription, use YouTube Year for $20 off. Also, and this is very important, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you on TruBlu.
I'm back in Florida with Sheriff Grady Judd in Polk County for Operation Fool Around and Find Out.
My history with Polk County goes back to when your sheriff was Lieutenant Grady Judd. So that's about 42 years.
After the briefing, we post up at a local hotel where the chatters posing as underage girls and boys are busy online. One chatter has a man looking to meet up with a 15-year-old girl. I get the details.
How did this come about, this conversation?
He's responding to an ad. He's been told it's a 15-year-old girl, almost 16, and he's offered to pay $200 for an hour.
And did he discuss what he specifically wanted to do with the girl?
Yes, I'll get to that in a minute. He actually said underage, that's weird. And he asked, can I see pics? Is this her manager?
Is this her manager?
Yes. And I said, cousin, female also, but not doing dates, just had a baby. He was wanting to do Snapchat, wanted us to come to Orlando. Then he asked about doing FaceTime verification, confirmed that he wanted to see her for an hour, asked if cash was okay. He offered to send an Uber to pick her up.
Did he say where he was?
About an hour away.
So we think Orlando, potentially.
Probably, yeah. Then we actually had a phone call with him.
Got it.
And he spoke with a UC and the decoy. Again, discussed sex, the age, offered to get us a hotel in Orlando.
So he's trying to get the girl to come to him.
Correct.
In Orlando.
He asked for more verification pics, said that he was nearby, and now we're discussing about meeting in the lobby of the hotel to
Got it.
further discuss this deal.
How far out do we think he is?
He should be probably within a mile or so.
Okay. And do we know anything about him, his name or anything?
No, he's using a VoIP number.
Got it.
It could be anybody.
And does the girl have a name?
Lexi.
Lexi, okay. So he could be just minutes out.
Correct.
And the scenario will be to meet the cousin in the hotel lobby,
Yes.
exchange money, hotel card, then he'll go to the room to meet Lexi.
Yep.
Okay, and he's texting right now.
Yeah, he's texting right now asking which lobby.
Got it.
He doesn't know the hotel yet.
Got it. So he's close,
Yes.
we think. Excellent, thank you.
With the man being so close by, everyone gets into position in the hotel room. The decoy is standing by, and so is the Polk County Sheriff's Office. Our surveillance cameras catch him and the deputy posing as the cousin in the hallway.
I got it right here. All right, get ready, get ready.
Hi. You have a cap?
Yes, I do.
Can I see it, please? Can I have it signed? So I know that you promise to keep an eye on me.
I feel awful.
Now.
Stairs on the hill, on the ground!
He's on the run, but the task force is hot on his heels, and so is my crew.
Oh, look, I want to. I want to. I got him cuffed. I got him.
Guys,
I got him. I got him.
okay.
Get
You
your
want to
hands.
cuff
Get
me?
hands. Get hands.
I'll let you cuff me.
Get hands.
I'll
Hands back.
cuff me.
Give me your hands.
I will let you cuff me.
We're done.
Please, dude, I said no. Didn't you hear me say no? I literally have the sex trafficking line on my phone right now, dude. Can you please listen to me? Sir, go ahead. You guys aren't gonna listen to me, are you? All right, get out here. Sir, I literally said I don't want to do this, and I literally have the sex trafficking line. Get up.
Get up. I'm not talking. Get up.
I'm not trying to fuck anyone, please.
Go.
I literally said no. Can I please, can you grab my shoe?
Move.
Lady, you heard me say no. Oh,
He's brought back into the hotel room.
you heard me say no.
They sit him down and he immediately begins to plead his case.
Can I show you my phone so I can show you that I'm dead serious? I have the sex trafficking line on my fucking phone. You guys aren't gonna listen to me, are you? And you're gonna chop this up and make this weird. And I literally Sir, can you grab my phone and I can show you? You heard me say no. You heard me say I'm not comfortable. You heard me say I don't want to do this. And then you also, like I said, I have the sex trafficking line. I was going to make a fucking sex trafficking call. You can see it. It's on my phone right now.
So what you're saying is you were just doing a sting operation of your own.
I thought this was weird, which is why you can see in my text with her, you hear me say, I just want to talk to you. I just want to talk to you. Can we go talk? Can we please talk?
Well, what's your name?
My name is James.
James. How old are you, James?
I'm 30.
30. And what do you do for a living?
I work with nonprofits, dude.
Like what kind?
Like I work for an environmental group that does air monitoring.
Where do you live?
I live in Orlando. Can I literally show you guys, because I don't.
These guys are gonna do all that, right? They're gonna want to talk to you about it. They're gonna want to see it all. If there's an explanation, they're gonna want to get it. So
I don't think you guys are gonna believe me, and I think you guys are just gonna chop up whatever you want, and that's really unfortunate because I really do.
Well, we want to hear all about it. Everybody does. So you're gonna get your chance to explain it all.
Yeah, I think you're just gonna try to put me on YouTube or something weird.
Yeah. Well, James, we're having a chat online at a specific site. What was your purpose of going to that site?
So literally, if you talk to her in this conversation, I said multiple times, I want to speak with you. You are of age. Would you like? I think it's weird. I said I thought it was weird. I said I would like to talk to you.
What brought you to the site in the very beginning? Why were you there?
In the beginning, yes, you are correct. In the beginning, I was looking at different sites for call girls.
Right, call girls. So you were looking for sex online.
Yeah, at the very least. It brought me to a group that was weird, which is the very first thing that I said to her, is that's a problem.
Right.
And then I pointed out directly, that's why I wanted to talk to her, and that's why, if you open my phone right now, I have the sex.
We're gonna get to that in a minute. So just keep the phone. Don't take anything out of your pocket.
I'm sorry.
Right. There are people who are gonna handle that part of this, right? So just calm down, and it's all gonna go through the process.
Yeah, but you're just gonna try to.
These guys are gonna take it from here.
You're just trying to take.
I'm gonna come talk to you in a minute, okay? Or these guys are gonna do their job.
Oh my God, you're not gonna listen to me.
Well, I'm gonna listen to you, but these guys have a job to do first.
Okay,
right?
you can.
Okay.
James is searched, and still he won't stop talking, which is fine by me.
I know you guys are just going to try to fucking make this up, and I swear to God,
No, we're not, James. That's not
stupid for trying to do this.
Have you met other people online for sex before?
Like this, not like this.
Not like this. How,
how
did you meet people for sex online before?
No, I haven't met anyone online for sex before.
So just today was the first time? Cinco de Mayo. I'll celebrate by going to find somebody for sex online.
No, dude. Like some ads went my way, and it made me look on a website.
And that led you into a conversation where a girl who was 15 was available for sex.
And I said, that is weird. I only am interested in talking to you.
But you also talked about pricing for sex with the girl.
She brought, okay. So again, if you look at the conversation, it is a normal hey, and then she brings up a price. And
There's nothing normal about this conversation.
And it's a normal conversation to ask for a price, and then she told me about the age, and I said that age is weird.
Why did you try to get them to come to Orlando?
Because one, I didn't feel safe, and two, I was going to turn them in. Again, sex trafficking hotline on my phone now.
They're going to talk to you about this. Okay? And you'll be able to explain.
Do you want to see it?
No, I don't want you to do anything until these guys.
Like, you can ask her the conversation. I told her, and she was just like, we're just trying to get through. And I'm like, this is weird. This is weird. Would you guys be willing to come outside?
You were going to send an Uber for them and bring them to Orlando.
Right, to send them again.
But that's not what the conversation sounds like, James. It sounds like that you were negotiating with a person whose 15-year-old niece was available for sex. Anyway, they're gonna take it.
Sir, no, just hold on a minute. I'm a detective with the Polk County Sheriff's Office Computer Crimes Unit, okay? Give me just a minute, okay?
James is searched again.
You understand why this is a nerve-wracking event. I apologize if I'm sounding freaked out, but I am. Thank you for bringing my shield.
They find the cash, and we learn his real identity.
It's got my real name on it. Can you please look at the thing I was trying to say?
What's your first name?
Aston.
Okay. Aston, have a seat for me.
Aston is questioned by the Polk County detective. He's then let out of the hotel and brought into the mobile command center, where I get to have my one-on-one. I have a feeling it's going to be a marathon of a chat.
Hey, Aston.
Where are you?
I'll get to that in a minute. So, Aston, you told me your name was something different, James Johnson.
Because I thought you were YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah. Why did you?
I told the officers my real name and information.
Got it. Well, help me understand how all this started.
I don't think you're here to help me, but if I want to be just direct, I tell you the same thing. They opened my phone. It showed exactly what I said it was. I'm stupid. I was trying to be a vigilante. Long story short, when we were contacted, she gave me the age. I said that was weird. I said I wanted to talk to her directly. I said I want to verify the images. I said I wanted to get a video of her. I said I wanted to bring her to this side because I wanted them to be able to deal with officers here. I didn't want them to run. I didn't want her to go away. This is why I repeatedly said I wanted to have a conversation with her, not with...
I understand that, and I appreciate that, but take me back to the beginning. How did you first come in contact with them anyway? Where were you physically at the time?
Yeah, listen, man.
Were you at home? Were you at the office?
I saw some porn, an ad popped up.
So you're looking at porn? Child porn?
No.
So you're looking at regular porn? Legal. And an ad pops up. What happens?
Can I ask what this is for?
I'll get to that in a minute.
Can I ask what this is for so I can know?
You can. I'm Chris Hansen.
Oh, you're that guy.
I'm that guy.
Okay. I'm gonna be direct with you, Chris.
Please.
You were there. You were in the room. You heard me say, "I don't want to be here. I'm not comfortable." If you hear me in the conversation with her, I say, "You guys are really young. This is not good." I point out, I'm just trying to get in the room. Would you two come outside, right? Because I'm trying to get their information so that we can go.
Okay, we'll get into that. But help me to understand, you were at home, you were in Orlando, you were at your workplace. Where were you when it started?
Listen, I was somewhere and I was watching porn.
Okay, so you're at a residence or an office, you were somewhere.
Not in an office, it was at a residence, in a private residence, but I was watching porn and an ad came up.
Right.
And that ad featured just text and it gave the number. I contact the number. That's when I get the information. I look at it and I say, this looks like 3 different girls at first. And then I also say that this is like, who are you? Are you her manager? I thought it was a pimp I was talking to.
Right. But she told you she was the girl's cousin,
Correct.
and that the girl was 15.
Correct.
And at any time did you say, you shouldn't be doing this, I'm going to report you?
She said if I was worried that if I said that because I have dealt with situations with abusive family members,
Right.
that she was going to disappear.
Abusive family members in your own family or for what you do for a living?
Abusive family members in cases that I've seen
In case you've seen
and that I've interacted with.
And what do you do? Asked him for a living.
I do social work.
Social work. And who do you work for?
I'd rather leave them out of this.
Is it a private group? Is it the government?
It's not the government. I work for nonprofits. I work with different marginalized groups, whether they be unhoused, whether they be neurodivergent, whether they be in whatever distress, and I try to give them different forms of help. I also work on environmental work as well.
So you work with people who are facing challenges, and you do environmental work having to do with
Correct.
the
And I have-
quality of air and the
and
environment
And I
around it.
have specifically worked with people who were putting their family members into different forms of sex work.
Got it. So being in that line of work, you would know who to call to get somebody out of trouble.
Which is why I had the hotline. It was up. I was looking to get their information.
And which hotline was this?
That was the human trafficking hotline,
Right. The government's human trafficking hotline.
which they verified as well.
Why didn't you call the hotline before coming here?
Because because I know that, again, if they smell something weird, they'll run. That's one of the first thing that I was afraid of. The second thing is I didn't want to call direct law enforcement. I wanted to call the hotline because I have issues with law enforcement.
Well, you have an issue with law enforcement now since you're handcuffed and arrested.
I mean,
What issues do you have with law enforcement?
law enforcement has harassed me in
For
cases
what?
that I've tried to for lots of stuff. Not anything like violent or any crimes or anything. I've been followed by law enforcement. I've been threatened by law enforcement.
Because you're a community organizer? Or?
Correct.
Okay. You talked at one point about sending an Uber for the girl and her cousin.
I was going to send her to the police department.
Right. But in the past, in our cases, and we do this a lot, we've seen guys who try to bring a girl to them for sex because they get nervous about going to a location they've not been to before.
Did you also read the part where I said you don't need to do this? And I said that do you need somewhere to stay? I can find you somewhere to stay. Do you need a job?
Right. But it's consistent with the way some predators operate. You have to see this, right?
I understand y'all's position. I understand what you guys are saying, and I understand what you guys are, the conclusions that you're making. I'm pointing out, all I can tell you is what I can tell you. And this is one of the stupidest ideas I've ever had, to think that I was going to be Mr. Take Things Down. I'm dumb. And this is...
But you're educated, right? You went to college. You hold a job.
Can I ask what's...
Well,
what's
I'm
the-
just trying to get. I'm trying to understand why you would do what you did today, if in fact you were being a good Samaritan, as opposed to pick up the phone and call the authorities and say, "Look, there's a case of potential human trafficking. Here's the address. Here's the hotel. You guys should go check it out."
When family members tend to be the most abusive and the most able to take people and run. Again, I was just verifying the room number.
Right. Have you ever met anybody online for sex before?
No, sir.
But that's not what you told me in the hotel room. You said you had.
I said that I've worked with people online with sex. That is correct. I've worked with sex workers.
That's not what you said. That's not the same context of what was discussed in the hotel room. Did I misunderstand in some way?
I was panicking. I don't know how I put it.
What you said was you had met people for sex online before, just nobody underage. And again, correct me if I'm misunderstanding it. I just want to be accurate.
I've worked with I've worked with sex workers before, and I have engaged in sexual activity with a sex worker before.
You have. And was it a sex worker with whom you were working?
It was a sex worker from which I was familiar with, correct?
Right. So you were working with a sex worker, trying to rescue the sex worker, but you had sex with the sex worker.
What are you talking about now?
I'm saying you had sex with a sex worker, correct?
Right.
Was it somebody who you were trying to help as part of your job?
No.
Okay, so it's two separate things.
No, not at all. This is just somebody I knew, and this is a long time ago.
Right. And did you meet online?
No.
Okay. Again, it's hard to reconcile you going from a porn site to a sex site to discussing potentially having sex or meeting up with an underage girl, and then saying this was all one big effort on your part to crack into this human trafficking ring and save this girl. It does make sense. And you can see that, right?
I understand your position, sir, but I also, like I said, and you were in there and you saw it, I said I wasn't comfortable. I said I didn't want to be there. I did try to talk to her.
Why make the trip? You drove an hour from Orlando.
Because I thought she was going to run. It's stupid. Like, this is the stupid, like, you're right, this is the stupidest point. I even thought it was stupid on the way.
Then why did you keep coming?
Because she was texting me, and it just made me want to, like, it's like, okay, I said I would be there. If I don't show it, like, she had mentioned that people had stood her up before, and then that's how cops, like, and that's, like, she's worried about me being a cop, and all this other stuff.
How old are you, Aston?
I'm 30.
30 or 35?
I'm 35.
35. So you lied to the police saying you were 30 when you were 35.
I gave
You lied to me. I know, but why say you're 30 when you're actually 35?
It doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, but it's one's true and one's not.
Because right now I'm being stressed and interrogated right now, and it's stressing me out.
Somebody should know how old they are, right? You're 35.
Okay.
So if you're lying about your age, something as simple as that, why am I to believe anything else you said?
Well, I lied about my name as well.
I understand that. That's another thing. So why should I believe anything you say? It sounds like you made up this entire excuse, had it ready, had the phone ready just in case you got caught coming over here to have sex with an underage girl. That's what it looks like.
But I wasn't. Again, at the moment of, hey, will you go have sex with this girl? I said no.
What spooked you when you walked into the room?
Nothing spooked me. I just looked at the room and I said, okay, here she is. Here's the room. I'm not. And she said, can I have the $100? And I'm like, no, I'm leaving.
Right. But if you're going to engage in this rescue attempt to be this good Samaritan, why didn't you just say, hey, come with me?
I tried.
You tried to get the young girl to come with you? When you were in the room?
No.
Because I missed that part.
No. I tried. I said, hey, why don't you both come with me? You can be there. And she's like, I'm not trying to be there when my cousin has sex. I'm like, we don't have to have sex. Like, I said all of these things.
It sounds like you sensed trouble once you got here to have sex and tried to back your way out of it. I still don't understand, Aston.
Okay.
Why you wouldn't call the authorities in the first place?
Because I've already explained it.
All right. You ever been in trouble with the law before?
No, sir.
Never had your license revoked? Never had a bunch of tickets? Never had a...
I mean, if you're saying in trouble by the law, I've had a suspended license one time in my life.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. So even though you've had a soured relationship with Orlando Police Department, you try to get involved in a situation where you're trying to rescue people and act yourself as law enforcement. Am I understanding this right?
This isn't the only case where I've tried to help people out of a situation.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you talking to me.
I know what you guys think, and I know how.
What am I supposed to think, Aston?
I'm not sitting here telling you not to think anything differently. You're doing your job, and you're trying to protect people, and I'm trying, and I understand that. I know I'll have my day in court, whether it goes or not, however, but I'm telling you directly, like, I'm just being real. And I understand if I was sitting on your side of things, what I would say as well. So it's not me condemning you or saying any of you guys are wrong. But all I can tell you from the bottom of what I am saying is I was trying to do something. It was very stupid. I get it.
What's your biggest regret tonight, Aston?
My biggest regret was that I didn't turn around, that I even left the house, that I didn't call the hotline. All of these are huge regrets for me.
What do you say to other men who might be thinking about the same sort of trip you made tonight?
Call the hotline, dude. Just call the hotline. Sex trafficking is real. It happens in our country, and it's a huge fucking problem. And one of the largest, most predatory groups is family members. And we should be on the lookout to try to protect them. And, for example, you should be on the lookout to try to protect people when you think it's me. So I understand your position.
I told you I was Chris Hansen. We do a series of television shows called Takedown.
And I know you're taking me down.
Is there anything else you want people to know?
I said, call the hotline, call the sex trafficking hotline. It's important.
Okay. You know, I hear this reasoning a lot.
Do you?
A lot of guys tell me in this situation, I was just here to rescue the girl. I was trying to be the good Samaritan. And I'm guessing, Aston, that the vast majority of them are lying.
And this is why I'm telling you, your position is understandable.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that.
I'm not coming at you. I think it's like a little, you got me caged and you're doing the interview. That's a little unbalanced, but that pales in comparison to the issue of sex trafficking and people harming kids. So I'm not going to sit here and come at you for that.
All right, I appreciate it.
I know that none of that means anything to you guys.
Well, it does, because I tried to get the complete story. Obviously, we find a lot of people trying to harm children. And that's how you and I met in a sting operation, right? So you get that.
If I was you don't let people walk out of the room, but also if you let me walk out of the room, you don't know if I'm going to go harm someone else.
What should happen to you, Aston?
Honestly, I don't have a good answer, because like I said to you directly, if you let me walk out of the room, what if I go and harm somebody else is a reasonable thing to assume, conclude, whatever. So I'm not going to sit here and argue and not take accountability for those things. So I'm not interested in children. I've never been interested in children. My history looks like I'm not interested in children, but it doesn't matter, because anybody in my position that would harm children could be saying the exact same thing. So again, I hope I can recover from this, but I don't think I can. I don't think I can. I think this is going to be a situation where this is the worst mistake I've ever made in my life, and it will bury me. And that is my fault for making such a stupid choice.
Right. Well, the good news is, and it's hard to see now, is that you will have your day of court. It will be a question of fact for a judge and the legal system to sort out. So, that'll all play out.
And I know it's not your job to believe me, but I wish you did. And even if I go down for making the wrong choice, I really just, straight up, man, don't fuck with kids. I can't tell you how much that bothers. So I'm not going to sit here and say anything differently.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate the fact that you talked to me. And I'm going to get...
I know you don't believe me, but...
Well, I try to keep an open mind on everything. I mean, I'm a reporter. I'm a journalist. That's my job, right?
And if you look at, and I know, and this is the thing too, because I'm sure that there are tons of people that have perfect pasts, that end up.
That's very true.
That end up.
That's very true.
But it is.
We see doctors. We've seen people in law enforcement. We've seen all kinds of people
It's just,
from all walks of life.
and I understand that, and it's my line of work. But you know, this is the. What was I thinking? Why did I think I could do this? You know? Why, like, how did I think this was gonna go?
And what if you are in a room alone with a 15-year-old girl who's willing to have sex with you? What do you think would have happened there?
I was leaving.
You were leaving when you sensed something was wrong. And we can go. I'm not interested in going back and forth.
I'm not trying to go back and forth. I'm not going to try to go back and forth with you. I do believe that what you're saying is reasonable. So I'm not going to.
Yeah, but people always say nothing was going to happen, or I wasn't going to do it, or I was going to rescue the child, or whatever. But I wonder what was really going to happen if you two are alone and you had the opportunity to express yourself sexually to a vulnerable child. I mean, you have to wonder that. That's your intellectually. You have to ask that question.
I mean, that's your job, right?
Yeah.
And again, I know what you think. I know what you believe, and I don't begrudge you for believing it. If I were sitting in your place, I would believe the same thing. I know what I was doing, but it's so stupid that, you know, it's like I deserve this.
All right. Well, Aston, thank you. These folks are going to take care of you from here.
And I do and it means nothing to the officers, and it means nothing, but I do apologize for this level of stupidity. Like, sincerely. And I sincerely just never touch a child.
All right. Duly noted. Thank you, Aston. I appreciate it.
Aston is finally taken to the sheriff's office, where he'll be processed and booked.
Is it possible Aston's telling the truth, that this was just some effort to save a 15-year-old girl from being trafficked? I mean, what do you think? I mean, he lied about his age right up to the very end. He lied about his name in the beginning. You could have called the human trafficking hotline, Aston, before you drove an hour from Orlando. The story still doesn't add up.
Aston, the community activist, is being charged with use of a two-way communication device to commit a felony, use of a computer to solicit a parent or guardian, traveling to meet a guardian after using a computer, human trafficking, and resisting arrest. We'll keep you posted on the case against him. Aston claimed to be a concerned citizen, but did everything wrong that day in Polk County. Sheriff Grady Judd and I know that these men will say just about anything to justify or get out of the predicament they find themselves in. And based on what he did for a living, Aston should have known better.
A community activist in Orlando, ties to the BLM, who worked with at-risk children. He tried to get a mother and child to get in an Uber and travel to him, but ultimately he came to us in the state. And he claimed that he had the human trafficking hotline programmed into his phone and was just there to try to save a child at risk.
He's caught. What can he say? He's caught. He's got to say something.
He repeatedly asked for photos of the 15-year-old girl and asked if this was a law enforcement operation.
Because we've got to tell the truth, and we always do. Except when we're working undercover. Then we'll tell you when we're working undercover that we are this child. Because when we go undercover and act as a child, or a child's uncle or aunt, we are trying to catch the people. But we don't go out and solicit them. They solicit us.
Is there any way in your mind that he could have been telling the truth, that as someone who was involved in community organizations, that he was trying to extricate a child from a human trafficking situation?
Zero chance. If he was doing that, why didn't he bring the cops with him? Why didn't he dial the hotline in advance? Why didn't he dial 911? We have people actually do that. We don't recommend that they go out because they can end up caught in the gap. But we have people that actually call us and say, hey, I was on social media and this person did this and this person did that, and I think they're child sex predators. So occasionally we have people try to go out and do their own investigations. And then when they get these people hooked up, then they call us. I tell folks, there's a lot of problems with that. You can end up caught in a sting yourself with all of this predicate conduct. But occasionally it happens. So if this was legit, why didn't he dial 911?
WatchTruBlu.com is home to the full library of Takedown with Chris Hansen true crime documentaries and exclusive investigations. To hear more about the men caught in my predator investigations, listen to my podcast, Predators I've Caught with Chris Hansen. In this series, I dig deep inside the crimes, inside the minds of the predators, and I'll tell you where they are today. Predators I've Caught, available wherever you get your podcasts.